Okay, I think you can hear me now. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for the technical issues. We are here for the Belgian Grand Prix. This is round one of the Monday's 8 p.m. division. My name is Jack. I am your commentator. A pleasure and an honor, as always, to be bringing you the action. We've got 15 minutes and 55 seconds left of qualifying. Somehow, in the little 50-minute break I had, my mic managed to disconnect itself from my PC. Not exactly sure how that happened. But we are live and in living colour then for the Belgian Grand Prix. Lunar Eclipse, just as they were in the 6 p.m. division earlier on this evening. The first driver out on track for their lap. Jay saying a bit loud, JP. Good now. Okay, no problem. Keep me updated, Jay. And let me know if it is a little bit too loud. I mean, it shouldn't be terrible. Let me just check all my filters are working properly and all that sort of thing. Apologies for the delay. It does look like my mic's acting a little bit weird. So I'm not sure what is going on. But it all does look fine. I'm pretty sure as well, during the break, I did get the whole like goal thing working. I did. Okay, perfect. So, you will see we've got some new graphics in the top left and the top right hand sides of the screen. Those being the like goal on the left hand side and the new followers goal on the right hand side. They're pretty self-explanatory. In the top left, your like goal, it basically says how many likes we've got. There's a little goal there of 5,000 likes. So if you are enjoying the stream, make sure to double tap the screen and help us hit 5k likes. And if you aren't new, if you aren't following and you are new to MOR Esports, then hit the follow button and help us hit our follow goal. Jarmin saying I had so much fun in the first race. I'm back for some more. I cannot blame you one bit, Jarmin. It's so addictive racing in a league that's as closely competitive as this one. Lawless Fever currently on provisional pole with a 45.0. The times, I can assure you, will be tumbling very, very quickly though in this session. Albon Lover currently in second place. Jay saying, can I jump in again? I will have to check that with Mikey. Mikey is currently on his lap and making his way towards Pouon. So I will give Mikey a DM. Tom also wants to get in. I do need to look at the lineups and the reserves and all that sort of thing. So give me 2 seconds. Let me open up the Mondays. Where do we have... Where are the lineups? Here, driver lineup. Monday driver lineup. Is Tom on there? Tom is not on there. So I'm going to assume they're both down as reserves. I would like to think that they are. Tom says he'd be happy to reserve, as has Jay. So give me 2 moments, the pair of you. I will chuck Mikey a DM and ask if that is all good. I don't see why not, but I do just want to make sure before I make any sort of executive decisions. And then Mikey's like, no, JP, why did you do that? But I'm sure it will be all good. We've only got 19 drivers. YouTube would take us up to 21 as Mr. Smith now goes fastest with a 44.5. Jay says, I'm not down, but I'm a reserve for every division, basically, except Thursdays. Okay, Jay, no problem. Like I say, I've just chucked a message to F1 Mikey Boy. He's currently on his in-lap, so I'm sure we'll hear back from him as soon as possible. MOR Blake goes into 11th. Xavier has invalidated. What about Liam Wolf? He's coming towards the bus stop chicane. And Liam Wolf crosses the line, goes into P10. James Burrett coming through the middle sector. We've got Jarmin on an outlap. As I'm receiving some sort of phone call. Let me just message that person back and let them know that I'm not available currently. Okay, we have got the all clear from Mikey. I do just want to make it abundantly clear to both UJ and Tom as well. Tom, I do believe you are watching. Please make sure you treat this as a championship event. Obviously, it's a championship. It's not a open lobby or a social lobby anymore. So please do just take it with the respect that it does deserve. James Burrett went into 13th on that lap. One Javier is on his lap at the moment. As he makes his way through the middle sector, Jarmin on his opening lap of this session. And Jarmin through La Source and towards Eau Rouge and Radion we go with the Haas driver. In the slipstream of his teammate as well. His teammate being Luke M, who is on an outlap. So the Haas team evidently working well together, it must be said. A slipstream immediately for Jarmin. Luke and Jarmin evidently going to be pretty good teammates. And Haas maybe making a running for the Constructors' Championship. We really saw some Mercedes-Benz dominance in the first division, in the 6 PM division. Well, Mercedes currently on provisional pole. The Stubler in 6th. And maybe we could see a bit more of that Mercedes dominance. We've got Lawless Fever currently in 2nd. He's just coming to the end of his outlap. Executioner same in 3rd place for Red Bull. We've got Albon Lover in 4th for Williams. MCL currently in 5th. So we'll stick with Lawless Fever. Jarmin invalidated his lap. Hannah saying, let's go the Jarminator. I'm sure he will be going for another lap in this session, and we will try and catch it when he goes on to it. As Lawless Fever makes his way through Eau Rouge and Radion, and now down the Kemmel Straight. And the V-Carb driver needs about half a second if he's to get to provisional pole position. It's a tall order, but I'm sure it is doable. He's down through the first sector, though, so needs a lightning middle sector and a lightning final sector if it is to be provisional pole position. There's those yellow flags as people get themselves slowed down and prep in the bus stop chicane for their next qualifying lap. Jarmin being one of those drivers, he is going on to another lap, it would look like. As Lawless Fever comes through Pouon. We've seen many a big crash in Formula 1 through Pouon. Executioner same starting his latest lap as well. We've got Jarmin, Nova Piper, and Andy Price all on laps that have not set lap times yet. Andy Price, definitely one we want to try and keep our eyes on. But Lawless Fever in 2nd place at the moment. And is looking to try and get himself towards provisional pole or on provisional pole. The question is it doable? Because half a second is a lifetime in Formula 1. Lawless Fever out of the bus stop chicane. The V-Carb looking stable. Is it quick though? Towards the line. He improves by 0.2 of a second. It's not enough to get to Mr. Smith. Albon Lover and Executioner same on their laps as well. We've got Jarmin on a lap. Oh no, Jarmin is not on a lap. I do apologise. Nova Piper on his latest lap. Andy Price on his lap as well. Andy Price will be the first to take to the line, I believe. Yes, Executioner still coming through the middle sector, excuse me. And Andy Price then. What lap time does the McLaren have in him? He definitely could be a dark horse in this division. Always very consistent is Andy Price. And a track like Belgium, I imagine, would suit his driving style very, very much. As Andy Price drives for the line then. and goes P7. Exactly that. Andy Price doing a very good job. Nova Piper went into 4th. Executioner same across the line. Does not improve his lap time. So who have we got on a lap then? Sidemen is on a lap. F1 Mikey Boy coming through. And towards the line he goes 11th fastest. 0.3 of improvement. And Mikey has set the exact same time as the Stubler. Not often you see that in Formula 1. The exact same time, a 1 minute 46.177. Mikey in the Stubler. Stubler takes 10th place because he set the lap time first. And Stubler, by the looks of it, is on another lap. So we'll have the right of reply over the Red Bull driver. And if he improves by a millisecond, he will go that little bit further ahead of Mikey, and they won't have the same lap time anymore. Who have we got on laps then? Tom and JF1. Jay struggling on the grass on the infield. Tom in 20th place at the moment. We've got 5 minutes left of qualifying. Tom coming through the bus stop chicane. Alcada saying, can I join? You most certainly can, Alcada. That's not a problem. I can't see you online, Alcada. So get yourself online and we will get you in the lobby. As Tom has gone into P7. What of JF1 then? JF1 goes into P18. Alcada says he's online. We'll get him in the lobby. D-Ghost has invalidated his latest attempt. Albon Lover is just coming into the pit lane after setting his latest lap time. The Stubler did improve up to P6. MCL currently in P7 has invalidated. Tom has invalidated. Blake is taking quite a non-conventional racing line, it must be said. James Burrow just going on to a lap. We've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left of qualifying. We're now 52% of the way through the light goal as well. Thank you very much to everyone liking the live stream, especially Hannah. I must say, I do see you spamming the likes. Thank you very much, Hannah, for the support. You're pretty much single-handedly getting us to that 5k like goal, so thank you very much. We do appreciate it. You're not going unnoticed, don't worry. James Burrow in 16th then. Alcada has joined the lobby, and we have got a full grid here ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix. I'm not sure if Alcada will be able to set a lap time, but we'll most certainly try to. As James Burrow pushes on through the second sector, is currently in P16 for Alpine. Needs about 0.2 of improvement to beat Liam Wolf. As Lawless Fever goes on to his final lap of this session, then the V-Carb driver currently on a 44.8. Needs 0.3 to knock Mr. Smith off of provisional pole. Everyone coming out for outlaps. Nova Piper is staying in the pit lane, as is Tom, as is Lunar Eclipse. So maybe they are deciding that the soft compound tyres will be used at some point in the race. Lawless Fever then pushing on through the middle sector. A minute and 20 left of this session to go. Everyone is now on outlaps then. We will have every single car out on track besides the Stubler and Tom. Lawless Fever invalidated. He will get another go at this as Executioner Same starts his final lap. We've got TTV Kian in the chat. Welcome in, Kian. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to seeing you back on track at some point soon. I believe you're in the Tuesday 6 p.m. division, if I'm not mistaken, Kian. So we will see you tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. As Lawless Fever starts his final flying lap of the session then. Welcome in, Bacon. Good to see you. Welcome into the chat. Ian confirming he is on the Tuesday 6 p.m. division. We look forward to seeing you there as Blake has crashed out of qualifying. That is an actual crash. That isn't an on-track retirement. Executioner Same. Towards Pouon we go then. Was about a 10th and a half up through the first sector. But again, needs big improvement if it is to be provisional pole. We've got Lawless Fever coming through the first sector, as is Mr. Smith. Qualifying is now over then. These are the times that will matter. Executioner Same will be the first to take the flag. Sidemen 14th. Jack Plays 17th. Andy Price in 9th. But these could all change as everyone finishes their lap. James Burrow goes into 15th place. We've got the Aston Martin of Liam Wolf about to take the flag. Liam Wolf goes up to P14. Good improvement from the Aston. What about Executioner Same? He improves by a lot, but it's not enough to get ahead of Lawless Fever, who I believe is down on his lap. Mr. Smith right behind him on the road as well. Might be getting something of a distant slipstream. As Lawless Fever towards the bus stop chicane we go. With the V-Carb driver. Is there improvement in it for him? He gets out of the bus stop. Little bit of wheel spin. Drives for the line. Cannot improve. So what about Mr. Smith then? Can he improve? Yes, he can. It's a 1 minute 44.387 for the Mercedes driver of Mr. Smith. We've got Albon Lover on a lap. F1 Mikey Boy with a last gasp attempt goes to P8. Albon Lover improves but stays in P4. Albon Lover now just ahead of MCL as MCL goes into P5. Nova Piper out of the bus stop looking to take P5 back again. Does one better. Goes P4. That is qualifying over besides JF1, who takes the line and stays in 21st place. What a qualifying session that was. And early dominance from Mr. Smith in qualifying. A 1 minute 44.3. It was only the top 4 that managed to get into the 1 minute 44s. That was an incredible qualifying session. And what a race we have got coming up for you next. The Belgian Grand Prix is live in about 2 minutes. Welcome back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. It's raining, and we're on dry compound tyres. What am I seeing? This is probably the weirdest way that I have ever seen a league race start. It is raining, and it is raining quite heavily. The track is most certainly wet. Most of the grid starting on hard compound tyres. Obviously, they've got info we don't. The rain might stop in, let's say, a minute's time, and the track will stay dry. Jay's saying there's actually a good amount of grip. This is very confusing to spectate. As you can hear the revs on board with F1 Mikey Boy. The reason I'm spectating him is I know he's on full traction, which gives us a good indicator of what the grip is like. It doesn't sound like there's too much grip, to be completely honest. Maybe the rain is going to stop. I do not know. Even just trying to weave to warm up the tyres, and people are sliding everywhere. LM saying he's sliding everywhere. This is interesting, to say the least. We've got a couple people we need to invite back, including D Ghost and the Stubler. So let's see if we can get them back in for the race start. There is the Stubler. And then we need to get D Ghost in as well. Where is D Ghost on the friends list? There he is. And I believe Alcada's just disconnected, so we'll get Alcada in as well. Okay then, this is going to be one of the weirder starts. If anything, it's getting darker. I'm very interested to see how this race start goes. Surely they're not going to get any grip off the line. As we line up then on the grid, and we await what is going to be a very, very interesting start to this Grand Prix. The Belgian Grand Prix ahead of us. Round 1 of Season 5 of the Monday 8 PM division is upon us. The engines roar to life then. Mr. Smith looks like he's disconnected as we go racing here in Belgium. It's a slow crawl off the line for absolutely everyone. Mr. Smith has indeed disconnected us into the barriers there. Goes Albon Lover. Through turn 1 we go. We've got a Mercedes wide as well. It is chaos in the opening phases as everyone tries to find the grip level and see where they can get some traction through the rear tyres. Lawless Fever is now your leader. Look at Nova Piper towards the inside line of the Camel Straight. Nova Piper takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Lawless Fever in second. Executioner same is third. MCL up to fourth. F1 Mikey Boy already running in 5th place. Luke M is 6th. Mr. Smith down to 20th at the moment after that disconnection. Is going really wide and onto the grass there is Luke M, who's going to lose a place to the Stubler. As F1 Mikey Boy now looking to battle away with his teammate Executioner Same. The hard compound tyres will not be fun to be on. They will take a lot longer to warm up. Mikey defending the inside line with everything he's got. He's one of the big gainers in the opening phases of this race, up to 4th place. This is very confusing to watch. It is raining here in Belgium, but all the drivers on slicks. It's very weird. Lawless Fever has retaken the lead from Nova Piper. MCL is third with F1 Mikey Boy running in fourth. The Stubler is in fifth with Blake in sixth. Luke is seventh with Liam Wolf in eighth place. Albon Lover in ninth. Executioner Same trying to hold on to ninth place. And Albon Lover round the outside of the bus stop. As we end lap one, then there's a McLaren very wide. That is Andy Price that has pulled to the inside line and is now down to 19th. And this is easily one of the most confusing race starts I have ever watched, as towards Eau Rouge and Radion we go. Look at Liam Wolf using the battery against Blake and Luke M. It looks like it's going to be Liam that gets the better grip, but Blake using all of his battery, as is Liam, as is Luke, trying to carve his way through both cars. Look at Albon Lover involved as well. We're three abreast. Surely that can't work out. They get through. There is contact and wheel locking. And off the road is Luke M. An Executioner Same who rejoins and goes into the path of Lunar Eclipse, who now has front wing damage. It is all kicking off in the opening phases of this Grand Prix. Nobody can find any grip. Nobody can find where to get the power down. Tom takes 7th place from MOR Blake, who gets it straight back. Blake now looking to try and challenge Albon Lover around the outside of the chicane. Blake very confident on the brakes, and that is the number one thing you need in conditions like these. It doesn't matter how quick you normally are. It doesn't matter what your setup is. If you are not 100% confident in your car, you will fail. And at the moment, Lawless Fever, Nova Piper, MCL, F1 Mikey Boy and the Stubler all look 100% confident. The first point that confidence drops to even 99.9%, you make a mistake and your race is over. MOR Blake round the outside of Albon Lover, trying to defend the position. Nova Piper, fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 57.0. The Ferrari driver hounding down pressure on the V-carb, trying to get the exit out of turn 1. Lawless Fever draining the battery. Towards Eau Rouge we go. What can Mikey Boy do on the rear end of the Aston Martin of MCL? Up Eau Rouge and Radion we go. Albon Lover has got through on Blake, who is evidently struggling through Eau Rouge and Radion. Albon Lover with a lot more battery is just going to gain away from Blake all the way down the Kemmel Straight. Tom running in 8th is looking towards the inside line, not able to get through on Blake. Look at Sidemen now in the background as he dips a wheel into the gravel. He isn't able to get through. Now going to look down the inside again, barging his way through on Tom. Sidemen ever aggressive. Barges Tom out the way. Tom's going to lose a position to Liam Wolf as well. And Sidemen gets through into P8. We will try and invite Mr. Smith back to the lobby. He has disconnected at the start of this Grand Prix. Where is Mr. Smith on my friends list? There he is. We'll get Mr. Smith back in. As the rain is still coming down here at Spa. Mikey just falling off the back of MCL. The Stubler in 5th place, all over the back of the Red Bull driver. And surely this race can't be slicks all throughout. I don't know if there's anyone... I mean, people driving can't really give us any info. We don't want anyone going into AI mode. It would be so nice to know if this rain is going to continue all race long. It is very confusing as Lawless Fever is leading this race by about a second now. MCL in 3rd place. Mikey dropping out of the overtake boost. It doesn't... No, overtake boost is in fact enabled even while the rain is falling. We've got Nova Piper in 2nd. MCL in 3rd. We've got F1 Mikey Boy running in 4th. But how long is he going to be in 4th for? Because the Stubler down the inside. And the Stubler moves through into 4th place ahead of the Red Bull. Noah in the chat. Welcome in, Noah. Great to see you, mate. Hope you are doing well. As the Stubler makes the move on Mikey. And you can see the Stubler does have the overtake boost. Gersey saying it's going to dry out soon. And just as you've said that, Gersey, the rain has stopped. So 4 laps, or well, 3.5 laps of rain here in Belgium. It now starts to clear up then. The question being, who's going to be quicker now in these drier conditions? It won't be peak grip for about another lap or two, you would imagine. Ken's saying, are you commentating at 10 p.m? I'm not. I don't believe there's a social race at 10. But, and this is actually a little bit of an announcement. I forgot to say this. Myself and Mikey are going to be hosting a podcast at 10 p.m. It's the MOR podcast. It's the first time we've ever done anything like it. But we're just going to test it and see how it goes. Me and Mikey are going to talk all things F1, all things MOR. If you've got any questions, feel free to come through and ask away in the chat. We'll be replying to people in the chat. We've got a few questions of our own about real F1 and about MOR that we're going to answer as well. So make sure, if you are free at about 10 p.m, UK time that being, you do try and join up the live, because that should be a very interesting stream. MCL trying to get through on Nova Piper, who has ran out of battery down the Kemmel Straight. Nova Piper was leading this race into the bus stop, but he is now down to 3rd place. Lawless Fever is your leader. MCL now in 2nd. Jack Plays needs another invite as well. We'll get Jack Plays back in the lobby. Albon Lover currently running in 6th. F1 Mikey Boy still all over the back of the Stubler. And we've still got a train from 1st down to 5th as grip is being restored now. And Nova Piper is dropping like a stone. Was rapid in the wet conditions. But Nova Piper struggling as the track goes dry. Nova Piper now down to 4th place. And I will always say it in races like this. If there is any F1 driver you could have from any era in your Formula 1 car in conditions like these, without a shadow of a doubt, your answer should be Jenson Button. So good in changeable conditions as Mikey now round the outside at Blanchimont and looking for the move on the Stubler. Mikey blasting his way through into the podium places. What a couple of overtakes from F1 Mikey Boy. Opportunist driving. Got the move round the outside of Blanchimont on Nova Piper. Then got the inside of Stubler. Stubler is going to look to fight this back. Mikey will hold the outside line. MCL being drawn in a little bit closer as well as we go to Eau Rouge. MCL with a lot more battery than the Red Bull. Mikey will drain everything he's got in the battery pack. The Stubler is gaining on Mikey, as is Nova Piper. This is going to get very close towards the top of the hill. The Stubler down the inside. Nova follows him through. Mikey forced a little bit wide. Mikey back down to 5th place. The Stubler up into 3rd. Nova Piper up into 4th. Daniel saying, I'd rather have 2018 or 2020 Lewis Hamilton. If it was full wet conditions and it was fully wet for the whole race, I would completely agree. But changeable conditions where it goes from dry to wet or wet to dry, Jenson Button is genuinely, obviously in my opinion, the greatest driver of all time in changeable conditions. There was no man that could read a track and read grip levels in spicy conditions, shall we say, than Jenson Button. If it was fully dry, I would take 2023 Max Verstappen or 2021 Max Verstappen. That's my personal opinion. I mean, this is at this point getting into the debate of who's the best F1 driver of all time. And I must say, my opinion on that topic is pretty weird. We'll keep watching this battle while we waffle away. Why don't we? My honest opinion would be that there is 2 answers to the question of who is the greatest F1 driver of all time. Because there's 2 questions to it. Who is the quickest of all time? and who is the best accolades-wise. Accolades-wise, it's obviously Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, in close contention with Michael Schumacher, but Hamilton with more wins, more pole positions. Hamilton is the greatest statistically. If you're talking pure pace, my top three would be Ayrton Senna, Max Verstappen, Michael Schumacher. So, if you then want to condense that into one, you've got yourself a Mount Rushmore of Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher. That's who I would say are the greatest four F1 drivers of all time. It's very hard to rank the greatest of all time because obviously they all raced in different eras against varying levels of competition. You know, Fangio could be up there, but he was in the sport more in a time where it was you pay to race in Formula One rather than being the best driver in the world, hence why he wouldn't be on my Mount Rushmore. But it's an objective question. Everyone's going to have different Mount Rushmores, and it is fun to debate it. Do you know what I mean? So what is everyone's opinion on the greatest of all time? Daniel saying, what about Fangio? As I just said, Daniel, if we're talking statistically, Fangio 100% would be on the Mount Rushmore. You would just go Hamilton, Schumacher, Fangio, and then someone with 4 world championships like a Max Verstappen, realistically. But Fangio raced in a time where it was more pay to be in F1 rather than be one of the best drivers in the world. So that is why Fangio wouldn't be on my personal Mount Rushmore. But I completely understand why people put him on theirs, and I don't have anything against it. Alcada saying Senna is overrated. Not a chance, Alcada. Not a chance. That is one opinion I do not agree with. Senna, genuinely, if you watch his mentality and you watch on board of him racing, I'm one of those proper nerdy people that likes to look at all the intricate details and whatnot. The way Senna used to drive a car compared to everyone else, it was like light and day. Yes, he may not have won every race. Yes, he may have been very controversial at times. But Ayrton Senna, for me, easily is the quickest F1 driver of all time. Max Verstappen, I would say, is the closest to get to him. But I would say there is a gap between them, and Senna is the quickest. Daniel saying, arguably, Niki Lauda was really good too, 3-time World Drivers' Champion. And you've got to think as well, Niki Lauda, with that crash, for most normal people, the Lauda crash would have been career-ending. He came back within, what was it, a month, 2 months or something, that Niki Lauda came back to F1. And there's multiple things as well. You know, for me, my terms for being greatest of all time would be how quick you were and what your accolades are. But there's also things like, how much did you redefine the sport? If you're talking like that, in an untimely way, Senna and Bianchi. Also in a bit of a harsh way, Niki Lauda. He really did redefine the sport with coming back that early after that crash. So there's a lot of ways that you can judge it. Let me just invite Alcada back to the session. I've also got a friend request that I need to accept to get Xavier back in the session too. So let's get him in quickly. I can't see Xavier on my friends list, so we'll wait until he's online. Alcada saying, Senna died at 34. He was already going to probably retire soon. He wasn't going to reach the World Drivers' Championships of Schumacher. Well, that's the interesting thing, because if Senna hadn't died, you know, it was only early on in that season, and him and Michael were fighting very hard for that World Championship. So it would have been interesting to see how that season would have played out. Would Senna have beaten him? Would that then have knocked the confidence of Michael? Would Senna then have gone on to win a few more? You know, Senna then would have realistically been the accoladial GOAT before Hamilton came around, rather than Schumacher. If Senna hadn't have died, the sport would have been completely different to what we know today. In my opinion, Alcador, I do agree. Prost was a very good driver. I would never put him on the same level as Senna, Schumacher, Hamilton, Verstappen, anyone like that. I do think Prost is very underrated, though, in today's generation. Daniel saying one overrated driver of all time is Rosberg. I wouldn't agree, to be honest. I would say that Rosberg is fairly rated. And just for the pure fact, as Mikey needs an invite, just for the pure fact that... Where is F1 Mikey Boy, my friends list? There he is. Rosberg literally gave everything to win a world championship. And he did it beating prime Lewis Hamilton. You know, people talk about Lewis Hamilton as the GOAT. Nico Rosberg beat prime Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery. Yes, the cars aren't always the exact same. But Nico Rosberg gave everything to beat Hamilton and did it. And that level of dedication says to me that he's not overrated, he's fairly rated. Of course, you know, all these conversations we're currently having are matters of opinion. So, you know, not everyone's going to agree with what I say. Not everyone's going to agree with what you guys say. And that is the beauty of debating. Do you know what I mean? Daniel saying Monaco 2014, most controversial thing of all time. I would definitely put Abu Dhabi 2021 above that. If you're talking technically, I would also put Spygate above that as well. And Crashgate above that. Monaco 2014 was definitely very controversial, don't get me wrong. I would say most controversial things in the sport in a tier list, you'd have Abu Dhabi 2021, Spygate, Crashgate, Monaco 2014, realistically. There is also one that you need to be a real F1 fan to know this, so I'm going to test some of you guys with this conspiracy theory, shall we say. The Alonso pre-season crash test. Or pre-season test crash, should I say. For those of you that don't know, when Fernando Alonso, I believe when he had first signed for McLaren, he was in a bit of pre-season testing at Barcelona, Catalunya. He had a crash that was not a relatively big crash by any run of the mill. And was knocked completely unconscious. And when he woke up, he believed he was a 13-year-old boy and was telling the nurses that his dream was to get to Formula 1. A lot of people say that there was an electrical failure and he was electrocuted. A lot of people attribute that to today and why he is still racing. But that is a conspiracy theory that has never been uncovered. You know, Abu Dhabi 2021, we know why it happened. Spygate and Crashgate, it went to the court of law. That all got decided. That is one we will never, ever hear the official answer to. But I bloomin' wish we did. Because what a conspiracy theory that is. Jay, I will ask, I can see you typing in the chat. You are currently racing. Please don't go in AI mode to chat with us. If you are racing, we do encourage you to please just keep racing. We can always chat in the Discord after the races or whenever. So please don't pause your game and go into AI mode to chat with us on the live stream. MCL and Lawless Fever battling away for second. We basically completely ignored the racing action for the past, like, 5 laps while we've sat here and had debates. But I do enjoy the debates, so thank you very much, Daniel, for asking those questions and interacting with me. I do appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Executioner Same is your leader then. He has not pitted yet in this race. So Lawless Fever, technically, is your leader. MCL running in third with the Stubler currently in 4th place. Liam Wolf is 5th with James Burrow, Nova Piper and Andy Price all over the back of him. So we definitely want to be watching this fight down the Kemmel Straight. And it does look like Nova Piper is going to have 5th. The McLaren gets a little bit out of shape. James Burrow goes too deep and cuts the road. Andy gets 6th. James Burrow in 7th. Liam Wolf with a big moment and currently in 8th place. Albon Lovers 9th with Tom in P10. F1 Mikey Boy having disconnected in this race, currently in P11. Xavier, I did try to invite you. You didn't show up as online. So do let me know if you're online now, and I will try and shoot you an invite, mate. As Lawless Fever and MCL continue their scrap for the net lead of this Grand Prix. Execution is saying we're not expecting into the pit lane on this lap. Xavier says he is online, so let's scroll to the bottom of the friends list. Can't see you here, Xavier. Can't see you here either. Can you see yourself on my friends list, Xavier? Ah, there you are. You're 1, Xavier. I was looking for just an X. My apologies, Xavier. As Executioner same does come into the pit lane then. Alcada saying I tried to join and they said the session no longer exists. Typical, to be completely honest. MCL is in second then. Lawless Fever retakes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. We have passed the halfway mark of this race. Lap 13 of 22 here in Belgium. And MCL looking to try and make his way past Lawless Fever round the outside of the Kemmel Straight. Lawless Fever fighting this back with the battery though, and does manage to stay ahead of MCL. MCL saving his battery for another day. Lunar Eclipse and James Burrow having at it. Luke M involved in that fight as well, as Lunar Eclipse forcing the Alpine onto the grass. James Burrow into 13th. Luke in 14th. Luna now in 15th place. I must say, this has been a brilliant race so far. Most certainly enjoying the action here. We'll quickly look at the penalty screen for you. It's 3 seconds for Blake, Sidemen, Liam and D Ghost. 6 seconds for Lunar Eclipse. As we continue on with this Belgian Grand Prix then. The battle for the lead. About 0.2 of a second between Lawless Fever and MCL. MCL looking towards the outside line at the bus stop. Zach saying who was on pole for this race. It was Mr. Smith who disconnected literally as the lights went out. And you can see he is down 18 places at the moment. Lawless Fever is your leader then. MCL in second with the Stubler running in third. He's got Nova Piper for company. F1 Mikey Boy now running in 9th place. A position down from where he started. As the like goal continues to go up. Thank you very much, Hannah, for sending the likes in. Nova Piper looking to try and get round the outside of the Stubler. There's contact between the Mercedes and the Ferrari. They continue on battling wheel to wheel. Round the outside now looks Nova Piper. Would be a great feat of grip if he's able to make this move work. The Stubler battling hard round the outside and keeps 3rd place. That fight, I'm sure, is far from over. Executioner same gets through on Andy Price and up into 5th place. On the fresh medium compound tyres, we'll have a look quickly at the tyres and you can see Executioner same, the only man at the minute on the mediums. So I'll be interested to see how long those tyres can go and what the difference is between 1 lap old mediums and 4 lap old hard compound tyres. Nova Piper running in 4th place at the moment. The Stubler currently in, well, was in 3rd. Nova Piper has got that move done into the bus stop as we start lap 15 with MCL and Lawless Fever. The V-Carb doing a good job of soaking up the pressure. MCL with a full battery pack to try and deploy to take the lead of this race. It has been a brilliant battle so far. Lawless Fever is your leader then. MCL right in behind him. MCL is looking for the move on the inside line. Lawless will try and fight this back. MCL does get the lead towards Pouon. Lawless tries to fight it back, but is not able to. And MCL takes the lead here in Belgium. Lawless Fever will try and fight this back again, but does not have the speed to try and get through. MCL is your leader then. We had a brief yellow flag. But that all got up, or got cleared up pretty quickly. We are on lap 16 of 22. Lawless Fever takes the lead back again. But these two fighting away very hard at the front. Nova Piper and the Stubler battling away very hard as well. As Nova now looks towards the outside line and does take third place. But just as is the battle with the lead, I don't think these fights are going to be over anytime soon. Albon Lover has picked up a little bit of damage somewhere. That might aid F1 Mikey Boy in trying to gain on the Williams car. We had another brief yellow flag. Whether that was between the Nova Piper Stubler battle or whether that was the lapped Alpine of Xavier, I'm not 100% sure. But everyone continues on in this Grand Prix as we get towards lap 17 of 22 of this race. The gap between Lawless and MCL, about a tenth and a half. The gap between Nova Piper and the Stubler, about 2.5 tenths. Here comes MCL towards the bus stop chicane. Once again, backs out of it. Lawless goes in a little bit deep. Nova in third place at the moment. Still battling away with the Stubler. He is clear into the bus stop chicane. As we've got a yellow flag in the final sector. This is the battle going on between JF1, Jack Plays, and Lunar Eclipse is down there. In 19th place, that is not where Lunar Eclipse was. And Lunar Eclipse has gone round at the bus stop and into the pit lane. Comes the Williams driver then. And I wonder if this is going to be a retirement for Lunar Eclipse. Doesn't look like it. They come into the pit lane and get a fresh set of soft compound tyres onto that car. It's MCL that is your leader then. MCL and Lawless battling away in this race. The lead still not decided. And we are on lap 18 of 22 of this Grand Prix. JF1 picks up a 3-second time penalty for those multiple warnings. As up Eau Rouge and Radion we go. MCL looking to try and take the lead back once more. Lawless defends that inside line with great precision. But MCL flying around the outside. Look at the grip from MCL. And he gets through into the lead of the race once more. Nova Piper remains ahead of the Stubler. Executioner Same has now gained on this fight. And Executioner Same on the mediums is going to look to try and take the final podium place. The question is, does the Red Bull still have the tyres? Mediums versus hards. Definitely not going to be the easiest, as F1 Mikey Boy is the latest to pick up a 3-second time penalty. We'll have a look at the penalty situation as Executioner Same tries the move on the Stubler. Isn't able to make the pass. But the Red Bull is going for this podium position. All of the time penalties you see are 3-second penalties. Besides Lunar Eclipse, who has 6 seconds in time penalties. MCL up 5 places at the moment. He's got Lawless Fever right behind him and taking the lead back from him. Executioner Same running in 5th. Nova Piper is ahead as well. These battles continuing on as MOR Blake, I believe, has had a moment. Yes, he has. At the top of the hill. And Blake falling down to 13th place. The McLaren driver now 3.8 seconds off of his teammate. As we have some more yellow flags waving, they quickly get cleared up. Let's get ourselves back to this Executioner Same, Stubler and Nova Piper fight. His Executioner Same is really giving it everything to get the final podium spot. Nova Piper trying to take 3rd back from the Stubler then. We have got 2 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Alcada saying, JP, when the rain was out, I was way faster before I got kicked out. Can we make more races with rain? Honestly, I would love a full wet championship. Obviously, it would never happen. I don't think many people would like the idea of that. But I would love to run, even if it's just like done as a social race where there's no championship or something. But every week, one of the social races is just permanently wet. And I would love to race in a division like that, because I am also someone that absolutely loves wet races. That, to me, is like the idea of heaven. I will pitch the idea to Mikey Alcada. I don't imagine he will say yes, but I imagine realistically we could get a poll out and see if it is something that drivers would be interested in. Obviously, we can't really do it just off the back of me and you wanting it, can we, Alcada? But Lunar Eclipse saying, I ain't touching this tier again. Why is that, Luna? I think it's a bit presumptuous to decide that off of one race. Especially the opening round. Alcada saying, by the way, JP, where can I apply for extra controls? I want to be a steward. There were steward applications open. I do believe they've all closed now. And I think the steward situation has been sorted out. I will pass that on to Mikey and let him know. But I'm pretty sure that the steward applications are closed now. Ollie's saying all races will stay dynamic weather and game will decide. Ollie, what about this then? What if I were to run with like no commentary or anything? Let's say we'll figure out a time, maybe 10 PM on a random night every week. If I'm allowed to put a poll out in the server of who would want to race in like a full wet social race, not a championship, but like just competing them every week, who would be interested? If I got enough drivers, could I run that? Obviously, it's not a division, so it's not like I'm really running anything. It would just be in attendance every week. I feel like that would be pretty cool. Plus, at the end of the day, we'll have to see the poll, to be completely honest. Because obviously, I want it to happen. Alcada wants it to happen. But I'm not going to, you know, make that sort of thing if there's only 3 people that want to do it. Spitball says, could even do 5 lappers full wet. That's true. I don't know. I just feel like the normal social race distance, like a one-shot quali and a 35% race once every week, wet, I reckon that'd be pretty cool. Well, I'll have a chat with Mikey before we do the podcast later today. And we'll see what happens as we begin the final lap of this race then. And the winner is still not decided. Lawless Fever versus MCL. The final podium position is still not decided with Nova Piper and the Stubler. As towards the Kemmel Straight we go. Lawless Fever versus MCL. MCL in the slipstream. Lawless Fever with the overtake. And Lawless Fever is your leader then through the first sector. What about Nova Piper and the Stubler? Nova Piper into 3rd place. So we go back to our lead fight then. And MCL right on the back of Lawless Fever. The question is, where can he try and overtake? He's going to go for it. Into Pouon corner. MCL retakes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Nova Piper and the Stubler still battling away through Pouon. There you go. The Stubler takes 3rd place. So it's all going to come down to battery. And Lawless Fever has more battery than MCL. As we start the run to Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane for one final time. Lawless Fever with the overtake, with more battery. MCL's ran out. He did not manage the battery as he should have. And he is going to lose out to Lawless Fever on the final lap of the race. Lawless Fever round the bus stop chicane is going to take the championship lead and win round 1 in the Monday 8 PM division. Lawless Fever wins the Belgian Grand Prix. MCL finishes in 2nd place. Nova Piper will take the final spot on the podium with the Stubler in 4th. Executioner same 5th on track, but it will be Tom that finishes 5th with Executioner same in 5th place. Albon Lover 7th with F1 Mikey Boy in 8th place. Andy Price finishes 9th with Luke M in 10th. Sidemen in 11th. James Burrough will finish in 12th with Liam Wolf in 13th place. MOR Blake finishes in 14th with Jarmin coming home in 15th for Haas. Might take that position on penalties. He does take 14th on penalties. MOR Blake finishes in 15th then. Mr. Smith from pole to 16th gets the fastest lap on the final lap of the race. Jack Plays finishes in 17th with JF1. Looks like he's in low fuel mode is JF1. Gonna come home for P18. Might even be P19 as D Ghost may gain on him in time. Lunar Eclipse also in low fuel mode will finish in 20th. One Javier finishes in 21st with Alcada coming home in 22nd place. So we just wait for Lunar Eclipse to crawl to the line. D-Ghost finishes in 19th. And Lunar Eclipse crawling to the line then. But for Lawless Fever, it is the perfect way to begin a new season, a new chapter in MOR Esports. The VCarb driver wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in with me tonight to the Belgian Grand Prix. My name's been Jack. I've been your commentator. What a start to the Monday 8 p.m. division. We will be back at 10 p.m. for the impromptu podcast with myself and F1 Mikey Boy. So make sure you are following down below. Make sure you tune in and ask us some questions. We will give you some answers. A good old Q&A. My name's been Jack, as I've mentioned. I hope to see you next time. Until we see you, take care, and as always, ta-da.